Hear the music.
I'm a just island boy. I'm a just island boy. I'm a get key white boy. You gonna get that done. I'm a just island boy. I'm a just island boy. I'm a get key white boy. You gonna get that done. I'm a just island boy. I'm a just island boy. I'm a get key white boy. You gonna get that done. I'm a just island boy. I'm a just island boy. I'm a get key white boy. You gonna get that done. I'm a just island boy. I'm a just island boy. I'm a get key white boy. You gonna get that done. I'm a just island boy. I'm a just island boy. I'm a get key white boy. You gonna get that done. I'm a just island boy. Island boy. I'm a just island boy.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Island boy. I'm a just island boy.
looks like
Island boy.
everything is clear. I see your comments coming in. Welcome back to the Mining Market Signal, also Mind Your Biz Live. My name is Seth. I'm your host. Let's jump straight into the news cycle. Not a minute to waste. So much going on. And we'll start with the Fear and Greed Index. Currently, the score is 75, back down from a massive pump in sentiment up to 84 for extreme greed. People are excited. People are happy with their holdings. People are very, very much looking forward to a massive Christmas, basically Christmas bonus for free, just for holding on to their cryptocurrency. We got comments coming in from Sam saying, typical peace sign, as well as responsive resolve saying good morning, or just morning, right? It's morning somewhere. Kevin Hawthorne is tuning in from Lakeland, Florida. Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for spending time with us right now. As always, your chat is on screen, so be on your best behavior. Let's make sure that when we see questions come into the chat, that we try to answer them as a community, right? Sharing is caring, but also we want to be the mentors that we wish we had when we started. It's totally doable. We can help lift each other up. No need to tear each other down, even if we have differences of opinion. So be sure that you contribute wherever you can. Seeing a lot of interest in today's topic, so be sure that you hit that thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed, of course, make sure that you make that subscribe button explode, because, lurking is okay, but you know what's better is being notified when videos like this come out. So be sure you hit that button. All right, guys, jumping back into our Fear and Greed Index, we see that trend where it popped way up based on a couple of pieces of news, news articles. We're going to take a look at the markets right now and take a look at the news cycle to see what may be affecting this sentiment. I suspect that some of the biggest news has to do with airdrops from the Ethereum name service. So the ENS token airdrop has really positively affected a lot of holders of ENS domains, right? So Ethereum-based domains. But let's take a look at that airdrop in the news cycle, guys. On Crypto Potato, they talk about how the ENS token soared 50% up after being listed on Binance as well. So it was a 1-2 punch. Not only did holders of an Ethereum-based domain name receive the airdrop from ENS, but then ENS listed it on Binance, seeing the token price go up well past previously famous airdrops, right, or very, very widespread airdrops like Uniswap. Uniswap's airdrop of the Uni token, if you recall, the governance token last year was huge. Most people saw a bigger airdrop return from Uniswap than they saw, at least in the United States, from the stimulus payments that happened when they filed their taxes. So this is pretty unbelievable that DeFi is serving to help the everyman and the everywoman out in today's market, even more so than most federal governments. It's almost as though, the private sector knows what it's doing in business better than the public sector. Call me crazy, but here we are seeing the effects of that. The high-level overview is that this huge price surge that's happened since the airdrop is largely owing to this listing on Binance. It used to be that was what projects were pushing for, that if they could get listed on Binance, they knew for a fact that the token would perform well, or the coin would perform well. So that was always the question. When Binance, right? And then it turned into other stuff like when Coinbase. People always want to know when their preferred token is going to see the limelight on these more popular platforms. And this is no exception, right? If you can push to get your token listed on Binance, it's a pretty strong bullish indicator that there will be a price pump and that there will be growth. Now, is there going to be wash trading? Who knows? The most likely answer is yes, there might be, but that may only serve to increase price now that it's on Binance. But additionally, guys, some of the fear and greed index, I think we're going to see a little bit of this sentiment shift over the next 24 hours when this is updated tonight at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. But some of the news cycle that's affecting it as well is bad news coming out of Robinhood. Apparently, there are 5 million client email addresses and then 2 million additional client names that were leaked in a recent security breach. Now, having done a little bit of research on this, I'm not an information security expert. I don't bill my services in that way when I'm doing consulting work. But I do know a little something about operational security and about keeping, the individual information safe. On this show, you'll hear me say quite frequently that we don't want to KYC in too many places. And this is a case in point, right? When you leave your information, a picture of your driver's license or your official government ID, whatever it is that you're going to give them as proof of your identity, if you continue to duplicate that information from one service to another, it's only a matter of time before one of them is somehow compromised. And we saw that happen with Robinhood over the last 24 hours. Now, looking up a video about it, and I apologize, on the top of my head, I don't know what that video, I don't recall the source for that video. And in fact, some of our sources for today's show are not listed in the description yet, but they will be by the time we finish up today's live stream. But wow, that was a lot of walking this back, right? But I have done a little bit of reading, supplemental reading, and listening on the topic of the Robinhood hack. Apparently, it wasn't a typical hack where there was some sort of database insecurity. It was a social engineering trick where somebody called in and gained the confidence of an employee at Robinhood to be able to obtain these records somehow. So either they were calling in as posing as somebody from the SEC or the IRS or some three-letter organization or some auditing body, right? Maybe a third-party auditing company. But they pretty much just called up and asked for access. Yikes! They didn't even have to be hardcore hacker, man. They didn't have to go compromise a database. They didn't have to punch their way into some system. Guys, thank you so much, by the way. I'm looking at some of our metrics coming in. Thank you for hitting that like button while you're watching live. Everything that you do by way of liking, subscribing, and sharing helps YouTube know that this is content that other people will want to watch. So if you're just lurking, hey, glad to see you that you're here. But all of those social interactions, they help. This is a platform where engagement is measured. So appreciate you liking and subscribing. But guys, Robinhood, apparently, this was not a question of some malicious actors or Russian hackers, right, punching their way in. Nope. It was just somebody on a phone who sounded really convincing. And currently, the train of thought among the InfoSec community that I've been able to follow up with or listen to on the topic, they're saying that they don't see any evidence of this hacked information or leaked information with the email addresses or anything else. They haven't seen it hit the darknet markets just yet. But the suspicion is that it will hit darknet markets in the coming days or weeks, that it's just not convenient yet, that there isn't a targeted purpose for it yet, and that this data set is probably being shopped around to private buyers. So be aware, if Robinhood has your email address, you may be compromised, and they may not be telling you yet. So perhaps log into your Robinhood account. Even if you have an old dormant Robinhood account, consider logging into your Robinhood account. And if it's not active, just making sure it's fully deactivated. If it is active, make sure that you are very, very careful about what you submit by way of KYC. If you submit anything by way of KYC to this group, right, to Robinhood, it's clearly been a problem. And for my part, I'm going to continue to advocate without giving official, financial or investing advice, going to continue to advocate for the use of decentralized exchanges and decentralized services, as well as custodying your own coins, not your keys, not your crypto. And Robinhood is a prime example of the danger of leaving custodial services or of thinking that a larger corporation is going to protect you. They can't. In some cases, it's not even just that they won't, but they literally can't, because there are limitations to what they can do by way of security. All right, guys, that's the top of the news cycle right now. Want to show you a little bit about Bitcoin's price action, and this is sight unseen, guys. I'm just loading up my trading view chart right now. I see Tech Shinji in the chat saying hello. Hi, Tech Shinji. Good to see you there, brother. Great creator. If you're not already following him, be sure you do. Part of the GPU mining crypto fam. Guys, right now our chopsticks are not too far off track. The only problem is the angle of trajectory, right? I think we're still on track to see that 70K intersecting point for the chopsticks to get right up to the top of that ascending triangle before too long. Want to also walk back a mistake that I made on a couple of previous live streams. Moving so fast, I accidentally called our MACD indicator that's pinned to the bottom of the chart, accidentally, mindlessly called it RSI. It's a MACD indicator, obviously. So moving average, convergence, divergence chart, where we see the two moving averages moving across each other right here. These two lines we see our either our 12 and then our 26 day, or it can be configured to be a slightly different MACD representation. And then we see a histogram running underneath to tell us whether or not the difference between those two moving averages is flipping bullish or bearish. It's a relatively simple indicator, as I've come to understand. But I did make the mistake in one of my live streams recently, just like mindlessly, like throwaway comment. Oh yeah, an RSI is etc. My apologies. I have to just issue that retraction publicly. That's my fault. Sorry for saying that the wrong way. I'll be sure to do better in future live streams. But right now we're flipping bullish in the MACD. See, we see those moving averages crossing over each other and the divergence. See that the divergence is showing that we're growing bullish in the histogram down below. These are just indicators that help us, guys, right? It's just data. Now, is it perfect? No, not perfect. But it does indicate bullishness in the markets. The rest of the news cycle is going to help inform that, but just wanted to be very, very clear about that. On today's live stream, I want to, in real time, adjust our chopsticks. Pocket Change is in the chat saying, why almost 300 people watching and 7 likes? Bro, right? Thank you, Pocket Change. I'm asking the same question. So I'm wondering if either I have a secret admirer somewhere from a larger channel who is rating and people just can't comment yet because they haven't been subscribed long enough, or what. I'm scratching my head too, and I'm almost getting a little bit concerned. Maybe there's automation happening within YouTube because of the current news cycle, right? Shiba Inu, for a while anyway, used to be, or for the last week, it's been the keyword that if you drop it into your videos, you just get more views. So without making it weird, right? The algorithm is weird. Tech Shinji says, I'm one of your public admirers, though. Well, how about this, Tech Shinji? We're going to go ahead and throw that on chat so your public admiration is immortalized. There you go. You can never take it back. Hey, I'm just going to take this. I'm going to take these nice comments while I can. I receive that, Tech Shinji. Thank you. All right, guys. John Rosh says, lurking, listening in the background while doing real work. Hey, I appreciate that too, right? I actually am. I'm pushing to get myself to get today's episode out the door before I've got to get to client calls. So we all report to somebody, right? Whether you're freelancing or consulting or whatever, we've all got a boss. It's just true. But for this hour, guys, you're my boss. Let me know what more you need to see from this live stream to make it the most valuable news source for you, the person who's not only involved in cryptocurrencies, but also has an interest and a capital allocated for mining, right? Where you're trying to grow a mining operation, or you're considering growing a mining operation and you want to look at the numbers and you want to be able to see good data. I hope the spreadsheet that I shared with you yesterday, by the way, was helpful. And there should be a link in the description after we're done today. But it's a really great planning document that helps you do comparative analysis and boil down the value, distill it down to a single compound ratio of hash per dollar per watt. Sources like that are how we launched this channel. Sources like that are what I want to continue to deliver to this channel so that you have value and education and distilled down to some of the most important information that you need to make your decisions the best they can be, right? Live your best life in crypto and in mining, but with a data-driven approach. All right, jump back into our chart, guys. Let's adjust these chopsticks live and see if we can just create a different channel. Not doing anything fancy. We're just tracing the very tops of our candlesticks and going to choose a point down here. So we'll skip our lowest, throw out our lowest buy candle right there, green candle there, and throw out our midway green candle, and we'll try to grab those last two. So we're favoring the most recent action there, and then we will adjust here and widen this so we do have an obtuse angle there if you're reading it the other way around. But no, we've got there we go, an acute angle. Now, sorry, I said it the wrong way. I'm not a geometrician either. Is that the word? Geometrician, mathematician? But it looks like we've got something of an ascending triangle still with the potential to bring us to that 70K mark if this trend can continue. An ascending triangle at this point, I know I'm doing this wrong. Go ahead and re-include that last data point there. This one here, and looks like, who knows, maybe by the 13th or 14th, so midway into November, potentially, do we see 70K? That's the big question. Or do we see 69,420? Tell me in the comments, what's it going to be? Are we going to see 70K? We're going to see 69,420. When we see $69,420 Bitcoin, it will destroy the internet. Basically, all of the pipes and connectors that create where Mario and Luigi live underground, where all the internet is being created real time, it's going to explode right in their faces. Right, they're going to have to jump out of their fattest data pipe that creates the internet. Grab another couple mushrooms, jump back down inside, and then reconnect everything. Because when Bitcoin goes to $69,420, everyone's going to lose their minds. Just saying. That's how it works. I don't make the rules. But jumping back out of my talking head view, that's our current chart. Going to lock that in so it's now saved to the public trading view chart. You tell me in the comment section, do you think that this MACD flip into bullishness? Do you think it's enough to warrant everybody's feelings that maybe we will see $69,420 Bitcoin? Tell me in the chat, guys. I need to know. Am I way off base here? Is the internet way off base here? Is crypto Twitter just exhibiting too much cringe by talking about that particular meme coming into reality? Tell me. All right, guys, DeFi Llama is one of our most important data sources. I'm finding, at least for me, and one of the most important data sources in trying to discover the truth of DeFi markets. So many networks claiming to be working on things, very few actually delivering. So let's dig a little bit deeper into what makes DeFi Llama work. This data set become valuable for us, especially as GPU miners who may have some collateral in Ethereum or on Polygon or on other networks with coins we've flipped our mining profits into, such as Shiba Inu. I'm just going to say it, right? Like there have been members of the community who've attempted to mine using unmineable.com or unmineable coins, attempted to mine other coins in DeFi in order to be able to participate in liquidity provision and everything else. So we need to pay attention to some of these tools, some of these resources. All right, so taking a look at DeFi Llama, the main page right here for total value locked on all chains. What I'd like to draw our attention to today before I move on is the protocols column right here. Why is this important? Why do we care about the number of protocols that are available here? I thought we talked about TVL being important, right? Total value locked. Well, let's understand TVL in the context of protocols. This is going to matter even more. So as an example, the total value locked on Ethereum is affected by the price of Ether itself. So if right now we see Ethereum making its way towards a $5,000 all-time high, which it's never had before, right? It hit $4,800 and printed a new all-time high recently, and it could go higher than that. We know it's got the potential to go $7,500, $10,000 plus. Maybe, we don't know. We don't know where the maximum upside is for Ethereum, but we do know that it can go higher. So with total value locked, if we only include the price of Ethereum, well, as Ethereum's native utility token, Ether, as its price goes up, well, the TVL number goes up too. So it could be a false metric. It can give us a false positive for how much value is really in that network. And the same is true of other coins and other smart contract networks as well. So looking back at this list, we see Binance in the number 2 spot, but it's got not only $21 billion of value locked, it's also got over 150 protocols that are participating on their network. Does that make sense? There's a good diversification of coins and networks and projects that are participating on Binance Smart Chain. So it isn't just a question of the BNB token doing really well that gives it that $21 billion figure in terms of total value locked. You guys are following. I know you are. You're sharp. So taking Pocket Change saying very flattering things in the chat. I promise I won't tell Chump Change. Yeah, anyway, it's not really that flattering, actually. She's just saying, hey, if you say it with a straight face, then we'll just believe you. I'm evaluating every life choice up to this point. Well, jumping back into this chart, though, guys, we see Terra, and a lot of people are excited about Terra, or the Luna token. But when you look at the total value locked, $11 billion versus only 10 protocols, for me, there's reason to pause. So what I want to do is, as one example, let's pop open a new tab with just this network, Terra or Luna. And we'll take a closer look at what DeFi Llama has aggregated for this network. So total value locked. It's going to go ahead and build up this little data set here, taking its sweet time. There we go. So $11.29 billion, and it's been growing steadily over this year. As we saw the inverse chart the other way around with the smart contract network dominance, showing it, kind of eating into Ethereum's dominance there. It's pretty impressive, right? So in US dollar value, it's gone up by significant amounts. It was in the hundreds of millions by the first of this year, and now, or not even hundreds of millions. There you go, dozens of millions at the first of this year, and grown way up into a big boy, a thick boy with almost $12 billion, a $12 billion boy. But taking a look down this list of the various chains and protocols that are on this network, now we see it. Here are the 10 that are available here. And the other question is, how well does this network have, how well captured is that value? Is it truly locked on just this network, or is it a multi-chain project? So taking a look again at this, we see that there's a Lido token, LDO, but it's available on Ethereum and on Solana as well. Same with Mirror Protocol, available on Ethereum. All the rest, Anchor, TerraSwap, Spectrum, Pylon, Nexus, etc., all the rest, Loop Financial, they're all Terra native. So there's no other network that's sharing that value locked. This is one sign of health, right? And we're not just seeing the total market cap of a shared project on this network. That said, it's only 10 protocols. It's only 10 projects that are on Terra right now. So that for me I wouldn't call it a red flag, but it's something to be aware of, is that this network, it's good, it's promising, and it's got growth ahead of it, right? They could double the number of projects that are offered and the number of protocols that are being locked into this network in the near future. Oliver Mayhem jumps in and says, you lost me at Mario. No, Oliver. I don't know how better to explain it. Look, like Satoshi said, it's up to you whether or not you want to believe. I don't have but if you don't now, then I don't have time to explain it to you. Mario and Luigi run the internet. That's why they're running through all those pipes. We need more bandwidth. End of story. If you want more, like if you want greater than gigabit connection to the internet, talk to Mario and Luigi. I don't deal with that anymore. But guys, all these other networks, with the protocols that are offered right now, Solana is looking really good, but Avalanche has 62 protocols. Phantom has 68. Polygon is the only one that's broken the 100 protocol marker, and you guys have heard me speak very, very favorably about Polygon because of that. And we can sort this list that way as well. So let's hit the protocols. There we go. And by way of protocol participation without TVL, now you see what I've been so excited about. Polygon is number 3. It's not number 15 or whatever. It has the most protocols that are participating, even though the TVL is not over 10 billion, even though the TVL is not the most impressive. It has over 100 protocols that are participating. And Phantom is not that far behind, if we're being very honest, as well as Avalanche, right? They're both coming up fast. A lot of new protocols and coins that are attempting to participate as well. So that's what gets me kind of excited about this. But guys, taking a look at the Polygon overview tab on DeFi Llama, We can see that a lot of the projects that are here are also multi-chain. So SushiSwap, right? It's clearly on some of its competitor networks as well, like Avalanche and like Arbitrum and obviously Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain, OKX and others, right? There as well as there we go. That's Moon River, right? So several other protocols that share there, Beefy Finance, and there are only a few that are Polygon native projects. So relatively few. We'll say some of the ones that are a little bit more standout. If we're looking just at, let's see, if we want, yep, we're already in TVL right here. Some of the ones that are standout are Aave, and Aave is already well known due to its work on Ethereum, but it's now on Avalanche as well. And then QuickSwap, which you guys haven't heard me talk about very much explicitly, but it's the biggest DEX and AMM on Polygon. So QuickSwap is to Polygon what Uniswap is to Ethereum. I'll just keep it as simple as that. Don't want to go do too deep a dive here. But SushiSwap is everywhere. It is now a multi-chain protocol. And so they're attempting to maintain their market dominance by going multi-chain. I don't know that that's necessarily working out for them, but the total TVL across all the different chains, maybe this is paying off for them. I don't know. Maybe it's not for SushiSwap because TVL is still not as big as QuickSwap. Curve, Balancer, all these others that have done really well initially on Ethereum, they're doing really well on Polygon too because of the low fees. But we've got this really long list and many of them are multi-chain at this point. Now, the ones that have crossover with, say, Solana and with Polkadot or Moon River or eventually Kusama, that's going to be very interesting to see how that's resolved in the future. But TVL plus number of protocols, guys, this is an important factor, and that's why it's here. Market cap over TVL is a great ratio as well. Important to know because some of these punch kind of above their weight, so to speak. But this is an essential part of evaluating these networks, in my opinion. All right, guys, just as a reminder, haven't red screened you on this episode just yet, but when we look at some of these data sources, they're not meant to be financial advice. They're not meant to be investing advice. They're meant to be a data source for you to do your own research and for you to take accountability for your own investment decisions. These are just tools to help you think smarter and do so faster while we're in the midst of a bull run, and the decisions, when you defer them for too long, can be costly. There's opportunity cost as well. Turns out right now, the US dollar is deflating at a rate, or rather, the inflation is decreasing the buying power of your dollar by 1% every month. There are real costs associated with inaction too. So we have to learn faster. And that's why this show exists, is to help you do so. All right, guys, that's Polygon in a nutshell there. And again, we look at protocols, that's the newly ordered list. We can look at, of course, all the rest, market cap versus TVL, and here's where it gets a little bit nuts, right? If you look at market cap versus TVL, then it's, Bitcoin for the win, because you have this huge market cap, right, in Bitcoin, the underlying asset. And then you have total value locked that is not all that impressive. So it's not the perfect way to do it. We could go the other way around to try to figure out what the inverse ratio is and then try to just order it differently. So let's go ahead and pop that around the other way. Yeah, it's not impressive when you have nothing on these networks, but Arbitrum, XDAI, others, it flips things around the other way. But we need to be aware that it's more than one piece of data, and we have to put that in context. So looking at TVL as just our only metric, yeah, Ethereum looks really impressive, and there's over $180 billion worth of coins that are locked into this network, and it looks really good. But the protocols also matter, in my opinion. So while Solana has a lot of value locked into it, and while it can go higher, it doesn't have that many projects locked into it. Polygon displaces Solana in that third spot. And in my opinion, that's one of the most important things for those of us who are small to mid-scale miners who are looking for more options, and several of which may perform better in the near to mid-term with enough liquidity to provide for our needs. In the same way that we do spec mining. I think that speculating in DeFi, if we're careful about it and thoughtful about it, we want more options, not fewer. So that's why I'm still pretty bullish on Polygon. But guys, moving on from Polygon and some of the DeFi market talk, let's get some of these coins out of the way here. We're going to go into our basic GPU overview tab and make sure that we have a bit of a sanity check here. If you didn't check out yesterday's video on evaluating GPUs to find the best hash per dollar per watt value for you, then I strongly urge you to go take a look at that. It's about a 20-minute video, but it will make you an expert on flipping data sources from what to mine and other places into meaningful, useful buyer information if you're looking to get more GPUs. And if you're not looking to get more GPUs, if you're looking to right size your mining operation, maybe you want to sell a few GPUs. It'll help you perhaps make a decision on what needs to go first or what you'll hold on to for longer. At any rate, I think that's a useful piece of information. I put a little bit more time and love and attention into that doc than I have in a while, so please do go check that out. It means a lot to me to hear that that is useful to you. So it can't be useful unless you take a look at it and you try it out for yourself. All right, taking a look at our top to bottom list, we've got NVIDIA RTX 3090 in the profit in a way that it hasn't been for quite a while. It's knocking on the door of $10. If we go back to our 14 cent per kilowatt hour base rate for power, then it's going to bring that profit down just a bit, right? So now we're just below $9. I think that's more realistic for most people in the audience. Flux is another one of those great names that's showing up in our leaderboard across multiple different coin profiles or card profiles. Radeon 7, also with that HBM, is showing profit for Ergo, or the Autolykos algorithm, not as much as Ethereum. So if you can continue to mine Ethereum, you're going to see a lot more benefit from doing that for the next little while, as long as it's mineable. But it's Ethereum, it's Flux, it's to a lesser extent Conceal, and then some other projects as well that are showing up. Ergo for anything that is either an HBM card or apparently the 3060 Ti. I didn't expect to see it showing so much profit for the 3060 Ti. I would have expected that Flux would be a better option for the 3060 Ti, as it is for the RTX 3070. And then others as well, right? The 3070 Ti, it's actually more profitable to mine Flux than it is to mine Ethereum. I didn't expect to see Flux in the leaderboard against other projects, and certainly not against Ethereum. RTX 2080 as well, printing a much higher profit for Flux than for ETH. In fact, even Ycash, I don't even get what happened there, like what that's all about. But Ycash, the fork of Zcash that is GPU mineable. Zuko, if you do happen to see this segment, I'd urge you to reconsider the moving of Zcash from proof of stake, the potential future of proof of stake, back to GPU mining algorithms, right? The way that you had Ycash GPU mineable, and you once publicly mused about the possibility of returning to GPU mineability for Zcash. It'd be great to see the main project return to GPU mining profitability. I think it was a mistake to move just to ASICs or to allow for ASICs to dominate the network personally, and I think it's a mistake to allow proof of stake to do so as well. GPU mining will put the mining and the wallet custody into the hands of people who are responsible stewards of crypto, as so many GPU miners have been for the last 10 years. Just consider it. All right, guys, jumping back into the chart here. Pretty much just the usual suspects all the way down the list. No surprises until we get to a couple of our greater than 4 gig cards like the 2080 Super, showing some profit for Ethereum Classic. I don't know why that's a surprise to me, but it just is. I guess because of its relatively high performance on the Dagger Hashimoto algorithm and other coins just not coming as close for some of these other RTX 2000 series cards. They're just not doing quite as well. So we're seeing Ethereum Classic in the money for those, but not Flux, which is a surprise. GTX 180 showing Flux in the leaderboard, 2060 with Flux in the lead as well. There are a few card profiles that are showing that Flux is a force to be reckoned with right now. They're showing tremendous price upside. I think they still have headroom to grow even more. Personally, I said it live the other day when Crypto Mikkel gave that phenomenal comment about, Flux to $1. And I think that $1 is conservative. He 10x'd his expectations. I don't know if we're going to see definitely $10 out of Flux. I don't want to like create weird price predictions or try to offer advice or anything, but I do think that Flux is an underrated project and that it has tremendous upside. It could see $5, $6, $8 per coin in this market cycle because it's that good a project, and the market cap is still puts it in the territory of a bit of a hidden gem. So when I got to make a decision, is it going to be when or once? When that project is discovered by the public, by all the normies, and they say, hey, guess what? There's this thing called the decentralized cloud. And did you know you can run your own email server? You can run your own chat board. You can run video games decentrally. Like when your normie friends start saying that to you, they start to capture a vision of what's possible, then you're going to see Flux just absolutely jump on a rocket ship and go into orbit. We got Yankee in the chat, another great new creator on YouTube, saying hello. Glad to see you here, Yankee. Thanks for spending some time with us. Guys, the rest of the lineup is not too much of a shock, but again, Ycash being on the leaderboard is a surprise to me. But Flux, ETH, Ergo, especially for the HBM models, but apparently for our Radeon RX 580 8 gig, right? Our Polaris cards, 8 gig Polaris cards. Okay. And for our 4 gig Polaris cards as well, it's looking really not that bad. But certainly for our 8 gig cards, it's doing really, really well. The lower spec or 1600 series GTX cards also, we got not only ETH, but Flux in the lineup there as well. And let's see. Raven is starting to show up on the leaderboard for our 4 gig cards and the Radeon R9 Fury as well. Looks like R9 Fury has corrected some of those numbers it was showing before for Flux. Maybe that was inaccurate, or for some of the other coins that are mineable with HBM2 cards. Ergo, it's interesting to see that it's not on the leaderboard for the R9 Fury. It used to be because of that HBM profile, or it was somewhere in right on the map. No longer is it on the map, but the R9 Fury is also printing higher daily profits than the 4 gig Polaris card. Bottom of the stack, guys, we're seeing, well, no profit on that custom profile, but for the R9 384 gig, we're seeing 44 cents every single day on Flux. That's unreal to see these ancient cards coming back to life with so much profit. Guys, if you haven't, again, take a look at yesterday's video that shows you how to evaluate the hash per dollar per watt, an ancient algorithm that was used by Bitcoin GPU miners back in the day that I shamelessly stole from bitcointalk.org and then adapted to our modern day cards. It's really going to help you out, especially if you want to just like make a copy of that for your own Google Drive. You can customize it to your heart's content, and then it's of greater use to you. Jumping into our portfolios, guys, we've got our GPU mining profits doing as well as they've ever done. Flux is still just absolutely killing it at over 200% in the last 7 days. Once it got discovered, had a massive price discovery, popped way up, and has since corrected, but is on the way back up again, with maybe some correlation to Bitcoin. Safecoin, big dip over the last 7 days, especially over the last 24 hours, 13% down. It's taking a hit, but if you had that in your portfolio from May until now, you'd still be up over 300%. It's all relative. And when you're mining this, you're acquiring it for less than the sticker price. So $1,000 in normie land of dollars of money that you just shell out from your own, your own funds is very different from $1,000 worth of a coin at that same date that you mined, right? Like we're getting a pretty significant cost subsidy based on the fact that we are mining. All right, guys. Taking a look at Equilibria, also on the list. Don't know why it continues to show up, but it's there, and market cap indicates that it's not going to go away anytime soon. Biggest loser on this list is not our wrapped Bitcoin representations, but Mimblewimble Coin and BitTube. BitTube is struggling to stay above the $2 million market cap mark, and then Swap also struggling to stay very far above the $500,000 market cap mark. Tell me if you want me to cull any of these from our list if they're below, say, a $5 million market cap or much more before long. You tell me. Do we want to keep tracking them, or do we want to cut them from this portfolio? These would be the kinds of tough decisions that we would have to make if we were managing a fund between friends and family, right? We would just have to be ruthless and figure out what needs to go in and what needs to come out. Moving back up the list, guys, very, very briefly, going to take a look at our hard drive mining portfolio, check to see what's in the money and what is not. Storage is our biggest winner. Chia is still our biggest loser, but it's not all the way down at the 80% loss that we've seen in recent weeks. At $177 per coin, if you're still holding Chia, this might be a good point for you. We saw a massive surge earlier last week. Had a few people jump into some of my own old content where I confessed that I was a Chia doubter, try to tell me, I told you so, it was going to come back. And of course, it's fizzling out this week as well. I'm just going to say, don't get wrecked. If you already have hard drives plotted, do what you have to do. If you know that you're profitable, whatever, stay profitable. I ain't mad at you. But if you're not profitable, maybe try to consider when it's the right time to cut your losses. And, or if you don't have losses that you're going to lock in by attempting to realize profit now, then maybe consider whether or not this is a good time to reallocate and right-size your portfolio to do something smart with those profits. I'm just going to throw that out there. There's so much other stuff going on in these markets, and we see it all the time, right? These portfolios don't lie. We've just put $1,000 of paper trades into this portfolio, and some other coins have just done better. It's not my opinion. It's just a fact. Other coins have done better. So it is possible that we can get our profits to do more for us. So just throwing it out there. That's our hard drive mining portfolio. CPU mineable coins are also coming in. Coming in hot. CPU mineable coins have been a phenomenal profit center. There's Raptorium. Man, never fails to impress. Just look at that parabolic curve. It almost can't go any more vertical than that right now. We already hit the knee of the curve a few days ago. We thought that it couldn't go higher, but it did. We're at over 1,800% profits. So if you put $1,000 into Raptorium, or if you had mined $1,000 worth of Raptorium back in May, you would now have almost $20,000 in your portfolio. Bruh. Charlie, Big Piggy, guys, congrats. A lot of hard work over multiple years, a couple of code rebases, and you guys are killing it. This is well deserved. Epic Cash also doing quite well at almost 1,000% profits, so that's impressive too. Raptorium is a pure CPU mining coin right now, maybe GPU mineable. Let me know in the chat if you're already able to do that. But our biggest loser is Monero at over 50% loss. ASIC mineable coins, where you at? Show yourself. ASIC mineable coins. Go Mining token is still in the leaderboard. We haven't been able to add anything that has outperformed it so far. Bitcoin up 75% since we put that entry in. Everything is in the money until we get to Horizon. Then it's Bitcoin Cash downward that's in the red. Pirate Chain is our biggest loser at over 52% down. You hate to see it, but if you're a big believer in their project and in their mission and vision, well, the good news is it's only $2 a coin. So unit bias is working in your favor. If you want to pick up 100 Pirate Chain coins, it's never been easier to do that, right? Good time for people who definitely want to get in. Guys, love that the comments are coming in out of control. As always, thank you for being here live, commenting, liking, hitting that share button, and being subscribed. That helps the algorithm know this is content that you like, and that all the homies in the chat are people that you should follow as well. If you're lurking or if you're new to crypto content, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Come in closer. People who mine know more than everybody else. Follow everybody you see in the chat. That's not hyperbole. All right. FPGA, there's going to be somebody who's like, I was an investment banker. How dare you, sir? No, I don't think so. This is a different space, right? You have no power here. This is crypto, and you have to learn so many other disciplines. Really, trust an engineer in this space. Trust somebody who's building. Trust somebody who's securing the network. Trust somebody who's had to hold the private keys and seed phrases to a half dozen wallets that didn't have desktop wallets or didn't have exchange support for years. GPU miners just know better. Full stop. I'm not going to walk it back. Not going to apologize. FPGA mining, we got Cadena in the #1 spot, up over 3,000% up. It is finally starting to just get unbelievable. Guys, if people didn't know before, they have to know now. And if you didn't know that Cadena was aligned with Flux, now you know. Cadena and Flux are not the same project, not at all, but they're so closely aligned. You need to have both of these on your radar. And the portfolio is now proving it, right? If you're into GPU mining or you're into FPGA mining, you needed to be aware of these projects. And the proof is right here in the price action. 0x Bitcoin, massive pump. Didn't expect to see it in the number 2 spot, but it's the delta right there is pretty unmistakable, right? Like we've got 45% up in 0x Bitcoin, and Kadena is just like, yeah, hi, I have my own little galaxy. I'm starting to evolve sentient life on some of the planets that are, just perfectly removed from my own little solar system, whatever my heliocentric galaxy over here. So good luck with that 0x Bitcoin. Have fun being close to Earth's moon. We're past Mars, creating our own little, our entirely new way of life, and like it's not even carbon based. I mean, Kadena is out of here, right? Like we haven't seen profits like this from a proof of work project in a long time. Just unbelievable. So, Stephen Samet says, greetings. I'm so jealous of you. You and Naomi, so jealous, dude. You and Naomi teaming up. Awesome. Hey, appreciate that. Naomi Brockwell mentioned something on Twitter to the extent that we may be able to do some crossover content. It may be a question of me helping her prime some content for her channel. She's got a phenomenal brand, right? Naomi Brockwell TV, phenomenal advocate in the privacy space. So don't hold your breath. Don't get your hopes up. I'm here to support her in creating that content. So maybe I'll be featured, maybe we'll collab, maybe it'll be me helping to prep some of her content. In either case, I just want to see privacy be more widely adopted. So thank you for that. But really, the cause is what matters, not me. Maybe Naomi matters a little bit, but really it's kind of more about user adoption of privacy. So guys, biggest loser on this list is not Nervos Network. We just have it listed over in the ASIC mineable tab. Digibyte is in the negative. It's the only one that is in the red, 21%. That's new for the FPGA mineable coins, and great to see. Proof of stake smart contracts. We already took a look at this over on DeFi Llama, so we have some sense of what's actually happening there. Phantom is in the number 1 spot. If you had $1,000 of Phantom in your portfolio when we did this paper trade, you would now have over $7,500. Same with Terra. You have just under $7,500. Solana, you'd have over $7,000. Avalanche, you'd have over $4,300. Wax, you'd have over 3,000, and Harmony, you'd have over 2,500. Cosmos, another one to look for, guys. I'm saying do not ignore Cosmos or the IBC family of networks. Really, you heard it here. It's not on our radar because it's not proof of work mineable, but don't be confused. Cosmos is coming up, and we ignore it at our own peril. Don't do that. Don't be that guy. Don't be that gal. Pay attention to Cosmos. Polkadot also with plenty of upside. The market cap, of course, quite high, but there may be more adoption and upside as its mainnet grows towards launch. And then biggest loser on this list is not actually not Harmony One, because we have that entry now, but Internet Computer Protocol. Yep, down 61%. In other words, we'd say it's down bad. Yeah, it's down bad. That's what's happening over in Internet Computer Protocol. Let's take a look at our junk drawer, guys. A collection of misfit projects that nobody wants or needs, but realistically, they'll make you money, right? That's the thing, right? But jokes aside, I say that nobody wants or needs these, but frankly, I think we've seen otherwise in the markets. Definitely Zoomers and millennials have definitely wanted and said that they need these, and they've done okay, right? If you put $1,000 of your stimulus check money into these projects back, like free money back into these projects in May, with Shiba Inu, you'd have over $5,000. Hex, you'd have over $3,000. And apparently, there may be a buying opportunity there, best price that it's had in a while. Same with Shiba Inu. I think it's half of its maximum upside right now, but I mean, you didn't hear ever from me that you should buy Shiba Inu. I don't think that. Just saying that if it does have a maximum upside in this market cycle, then it's maybe double what it is right now. But down the list, biggest losers. We have not been able to put in all of these other entries just yet. I will get that junk drawer entry done for you before our next live stream. But Dragon's Quick and Quick Swap. Keep in mind, these are coins that are in the hundreds, and that can make it very difficult for projects to show a profit. It's very difficult because we suffer from unit bias. We've talked about that before. One of our vocabulary words, unit bias, tells us that one Bitcoin costs too much. It's $69,420. Not yet. It will be. But we say that's too high. I don't have $69,420 to buy one full Bitcoin, let alone like 5 of them. But we see a coin that is like Pirate Chain right now, $2 a pop. And we're like, yeah, I'll get 10 of those right now. Like, whatever, $20? Yeah, I'll take a few right now. I'll grab another couple tomorrow at lunch, over lunch or whatever. Hey, is there an ATM that I can buy these from or whatever? Is there an easy way to onboard? And we have no problem buying those when they're cheap. It's flawed thinking, right? And noob investors do this, and they don't really understand whether or not there's good upside. People who think that Shiba Inu, for example, could ever go to $1 don't understand basic economics. But unit bias is a real thing, and it does kind of speak to our psychology. It's part of what moves the markets is unit bias on occasion. So looking back at QuickSwap, with that over 400, it's almost exactly $420 dollars, that figure, most of us are thinking like, yeah, cool, I could pick up like one or two of those. That's pretty steep for most like retail buyers, right? We don't normally walk into the exchange and think like, I'm definitely dropping $1,000 on everything I like today. Like that's not a daily thing for most of us, right? We have to think about that. Got to talk to your spouse about that. You may have to talk to like a sibling or an investor group, right? Family and friends about that before you're like, yeah, cool, I'm gonna drop, drop $1,000 on like 15 projects. We don't normally think that way in retail. But if we wanted to really succeed, we might like to do that. That'd be the best way, I think, to move forward is to have $1,000 in various different projects. But it's harder to do when we see that coin price is up so high. Again, when you look at Pirate Chain, easy decision to make. Here, a little bit harder. But our junk drawer, guys, it's showing plenty of interesting profits. We're going to see more as I add some of these others from Dogelon Mars all the way down to Akita Inu with these relatively low, like gem level market cap projects. So we'll see that before I go live next. But guys, that's our show in a nutshell. Do you have any questions for today? I'm probably going to wrap it up. It's a bit of a market overview. What did we learn today, though? Quick recap. Just want to double check to make sure that we're on the same page here. What I think is our key takeaway from today's live stream, and I mean, if it's a vocabulary lesson, something that I'm learning along the way that I just want to share with you, I think the big takeaway for me is that when we look at any kind of like a comparative analysis of DeFi, right? Like on DeFi Llama, we want to make sure we're not just looking at TVL. TVL is good, and TVL is a new vocabulary word for a lot of us. Total value locked across all the coins that are functioning on that network. We need to understand this, right? And I've come this market cycle to believe that because I finally started to understand it and thought, oh my gosh, yeah, that makes so much more sense than just thinking this has potential. What if it's adopted? Intercontinental bank transfers. XRP is the future. It's the standard. Like, no, you can talk about future agreements all you want. What is happening right now? What have you done for us lately? And total value locked kind of answers that question and puts it into a number. What has this network done for us lately? Well, there are so many projects committing, billions and billions of dollars into it. So total value locked matters. Today, I think we need to understand total value locked in the context of how many protocols are using it. So it can't just be gamed by the value of the native token like Ether or BNB or Matic on Polygon, etc., etc. If that coin value goes up, then the total value locked becomes a false metric, and it can lull us into a sense of security that's dangerous. So that's my takeaway for today, guys. We've got to look at the number of protocols and add that into our decision-making matrix. I know it's a lot. I've got a lot rattling around in my head, obviously, and I guess I've just transferred that to you. We're all walking away all buzzed. But guys, I'm high on crypto. I absolutely love what's happening right now, and I love sharing this journey with you. Thanks for being subscribed, and thank you for watching all the way to the end of the video. You guys know that I make this media for you. You're the reason. I love your face. Remember to stay private and mind your biz. Thanks for watching to the end of the video. Be sure to check out MineYourBiz, where you can sign up for our email newsletter, where we're still ramping up content, but you will occasionally receive specials for flash sales and all kinds of other deals that we have going on the site. You can also check out our services page, where we offer consulting to projects that need it. You can pick up the Freedom Phone, which respects your privacy. You can pay for it in crypto and have it shipped to you anonymously, as well as getting merchandise that also is paid for with crypto. That's right, we practice what we preach, including, well, a Flux swag page. That's right. It's a dedicated page just for the team over at Flux Network, because we love them that much. Thanks for watching to the end. Thanks for being subscribed. You know I love you.